Investing in expensive gear or your business. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to another video. My name is Nikos. Today we're exploring the idea of investing into expensive gear as an investment to your business or investing into your business, and which one is more important as you take off on your journey with you and your business. Now, the question always comes up, should I be investing more into my business with gear or not? And the answer is always, well, what are you doing with your business? How are you investing in your business and what does that look like? Now, the a video is important. It's very important, and this topic is important. I will make more videos on this, and although they're not really the most popular videos on my channel, the criticalness of getting this down so that you can start to grow your business and then be able to afford gear is probably the most critical of everything that you're doing. However, we always get stuck on buying the nice shiny toys, and why not? Like, look at this beautiful thing, $3,000 of love right here. Oh, buddy. So how do we look at this and how does this feel? The thought process goes very simply. Is your business growing? And if your business is growing, would you rather put money into a idea of equipment so you can have what you need so you can get your photography done, get your video stuff done, or should you be investing into things like establishing a proper business, getting the right people on the team, getting all the paperwork together, making sure you have everything set, investing it into the advertisements and growing a business where you keep getting money coming in so you can reinvest? Or is it to invest into more gear? And this is where a lot of confusion comes into play, especially for people starting out. Now, it's not just this kind of a business. We coach a lot of different people with different businesses, but everybody gets stuck on this idea of, hey, I got money coming in, and now what am I going to do? I got to pay myself, but we just take the money, we put it in our pocket, and then we look at the bills we have to pay. And this carries on as we start getting more and more contracts. We start to look at things and go, well, I'm losing money over here. I'm losing money over there. I'm still making money. My net revenue is going up, but overall, where is this going? And how do I grow into a bigger business where I can do the things I like to do in that business instead of doing the things that I have to do? And this is just a simple step-by-step approach in any business. We sit down and we go, well, what are you doing with your business and is it structured properly? And there's the first thing that we want to explore is, do you have everything structured in a way where it's an entity, a business that is over here and you are over here? You are just an employee. You are the CEO of said business. You are not your business. This is the first thing that everybody has to get through their head as they start to grow. And this is where we look at things where people start to grow and they get more money coming in, and then they look at their equipment, they look at other things that are required to make things easier for them with the actual day-to-day with the clients instead of focusing on growing that business. Because if we separate ourselves from the business, then we look at the business objectively and we can start to put into practice the things that we see in bigger businesses, and then we can start to add more and more as we move along. So the first step is separating you from your business. Number one, get that mindset out of there. Okay. The thought process in step two is, how do I set up my business to sell? How do I set it up so I can flip this thing if I want to down the road? I'm not saying we're going to do it. I'm saying if we set it up for that, that means you are going to be pulled out of the equation, because the goal would be to set up a business that you can sell and walk away and not have to worry about anything. If you can do that, that means you're setting up your business with proper practices in order to step away and not have to be there. A lot of the conversations I have, and it's a lot of professionals right now who the last 2 years through the pandemic have struggled because they're like, well, I want to go take a vacation now and I can't. I've lost employees, this and this has happened, and I need to be there. If I'm not there, the ship will sink. And the question just goes, well, why? Well, why did you let this happen? And the answer is very simple. When we go through the paperwork, we go through their structured approach, the organizational aspects of the business, and what they've established is that they haven't done the critical things in order to be able to just walk away. And the next question I always ask to everybody that is in the situation is, what happens if you get sick tomorrow? Most people don't even have insurance. What happens if you get sick tomorrow? What happens if you die tomorrow? What are the steps that you're going to take? And how does this all fit the narrative? Is it going to be somebody else's in the family's mess to clean up after you? And how does that look and feel? So the idea is that let's focus on growing it so I can step away whenever I want to step away. So I'm not that person in the middle. That's your number two step. It's critical in this process. So you have to start thinking this way in order to start implementing this way. In step three, we want to look at, have you paid the professionals to help you build the business that you need to build? Now, do you necessarily need a coach, a consultant, this and no, you don't. What you do need is two critical individuals, your lawyer and of course your accountant. I would argue that you want to get the accountant to be your best friend first and then your lawyer, but you want to be able to set up your business, structure it with a corporation, and depending on where you are in the world, and make sure that that business is a business on its own and you are the employee of that business. Still your business, you still own the shares, but now we're going to be able to set up with accounting, proper accounting, all your ins and outs. You're going to be able to see that awesome balance sheet. You're going to be able to see that awesome income statement. You're going to be able to say, "Hey, what's my equity in this company?" You're going to be able to look at it and say, "How much did this company pay me?" This is where in a few videos I'll talk about different aspects of, how to run this business and how to rent your equipment out. And I say eventually you'll have a second company that you can rent the equipment from, and people will message me like, "How do you do that? What is that?" And to each state, each country, it's going to be a different process depending on where you're at, but it's all similar. And the idea would be to go meet the accountant, get a good accountant understands all this stuff, not just a bookkeeper, pay them to get this information so you can set up everything and know, hey, I'm going to dedicate part of the budget to making sure that this individual is making sure I'm good with the tax man and I'm good with my finances and I know exactly where I'm at. The lawyer would be a critical aspect of this because you're looking at it and saying, all right, what is the lawyer going to do for me? Well, they're going to create all your documentations and all the legal aspects to be to par with the state country you are in. That's it. And they're going to make sure you're covered legally, which means then you can go get your insurance and cover yourself with insurance. It's so critical. I kid you not, this is a critical step. And if you're not covered with insurance, this should be the number one idea on your mind. What am I going to do for insurance? I insured all my equipment. I insured myself. I insure everything. Why? Because things happen. You never know when they're going to happen. And if you have family and kids, and this is the one that really hits me hard, when there's two partners in a company and they don't have insurance and they both have family and kids, and you're like, what? So take a step. In each stage here, we got to look at this and go, all right, how do we implement this? This isn't going to be overnight. This isn't going to be, hey, I don't have money right now to do it. This is going to be, I'm going to put money towards it. I'm going to invest into it. This is what should be happening before you jump into buying all this precious gears, the shiny toys. Okay? We don't need the gear. What we need is a good business. Because once we set up all that, and once we see, hey, what have I been working on a lot? So say you're just a, portrait photographer and you're going out to all these businesses, you're taking pictures. Well, now the question goes, how do I grow the business? Now that I have all this set up and I can see all my numbers, I can now start to look at, all right, where is the money going? And how am I going to pay myself as an employee? I'm not going to take money out of the company. And now I'm going to start to budget accordingly so that I can leave money into the company. So it's there and I can remove money at the end of the year. Okay. I can look at what do I need to invest in? So marketing, advertising, and then who do I need to hire? So that way I can start looking at the stages of hiring so I can bring in the right people where eventually I will not have to be there if I don't need to be there. That's it. Your company will grow if you're investing in this way. Why? Because you're going to be out doing the things you need to do. So you're going to be replacing yourself in all the hats you wear, as they say. Okay. You're going to be replacing those hats with individuals based on that budget, based on how you're growing, based on the contracts coming in. And it will allow you to bring in new talent so that you can now start structuring a workflow that fits with the team and fits with what kind of contracts you want to go get. That's it. This takes time. You could do it fast if you have a lot of money coming in, but if you're not, then no. So if you're, it's going to take a little bit of time. So take your time with it. Do not stress. Don't say I don't have everything yet. Now, as that works, and towards this idea of, hey, I got this equipment, should I invest in more expensive things? Well, yeah, let's start looking at what are you investing in when it comes to your tools. Because a lot of times you can go rent these tools, but you're going to need your main ones, and you're going to be working with a certain clientele that just needs what you have. But as a new contracts coming in that are bigger and you need the more expensive gear and you want to upgrade it as an investment, now you can look at, hey, what's coming in? All right, now I'm going to need that expensive lens. Let's go invest in it. Or maybe you're going to hire people and you need another set of gear. All right, so how about we invest in that one? So that's the one that people go out with, that you're going to go out with, new employee. And now we start to look at this pattern shape up where eventually you're going to be finding the gear you need and investing into that gear as more contracts come in, because the focus will be on that advertising, that marketing, that connecting, that bringing in new business. And if that's not what you do and you're the person behind the camera and that's all you want to be, well, now you've set it up so you can hire people to do that for you. That's it. So when a customer comes to us and they're like, my business hasn't been doing well, blah, 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 blah. Well, we look at all this and we go, how do we structure you in this process? It might take 6 months if there's good cash flow. And then we look at it and go, well, are you good at sales or not? Are you good at bringing in people or not? You've done good up to this point, but is that your forte? If it is, and that's what you want to focus on, great. If it's not, let's bring in the people who do that. And then we start to restructure that idea of where they wanted to go into where they really need to be as it relates to where they want to go. And then we see that future and we start building towards that future. But you see, unless you invest into really building a good business, well, that's where you're going to be like stuck and not being able to swim out of that mud, which is a lot of people when they go, I can't get over that $50,000 mark. I can't go over that $100,000 mark. I can't go over that 500, 1 million, that 10 million. And yes, going up to 100,000 is probably the hardest thing. And then getting up to 1 million is incredibly challenging. And then jumping over that 1 million mark, well, that becomes very easy because now you're just scaling. And this is your last step, is to scale. If you really want to have that big business, well, you got to scale. And you can control the scalability. So you don't need to be that enormously big business, but you can be that leader in your area so that you can have like continual income coming in. You can switch a lot of it to residual income, and now you can maintain a good set of employees happy to stay there and working for you. And with the times changing, you're good to go. You're also going to be able to deal with changes in the environment, changes in the situational happenings. Right now, for instance, I know a lot of people are like, I don't know what to do about this gas. And it's like, what do you mean? The gas went up. Different companies are doing it different ways. What are the best ways for you? Did you talk to your accountant? Did you talk to your team? Did you talk to your clients? Did you figure out a good balance that you can do? So we are charging more. We're incorporating this idea of the gas going up like 40 gazillion percent. What are we gonna do? I put $1,400 in gas just for me last month, right? That's Canadian money, of course, right? But that's like what, $1,000 American. I'm filling up 3 times a week, $120 now a pop, Canadian money. So it's like what, 95, $100 American. So you see that amount. Am I gonna eat that money up? No, I'm gonna look at my business. I'm gonna structure it in a way that makes sense. And then go out, and yes, I might lose some clients along the way, potential ones, but the ones that I have, they're okay with it. They're like, all right, can you just come take my pictures? Because whatever, we need pictures. We need to make money. And you see this mindset shape up because your sales and the way you're going to be doing sales is going to attract the right clientele so that you do not have to worry about prices going up. And this is the process as we move along. So the gear comes second in mind, not first. What needs to come first is this business structure, because once you start doing your workflow, you start to see what you need, you rent the gear you need, you start to focus on the business, you grow the business, and then you start to buy what you need. And that's it. That's how you go. And then you'll be happy go lucky because you'll be able to buy the toys you want to buy. I just hit my camera. Of course I did. And that's it. So, long video, I know, important information. Watch it again if you have to, but if you have a friend that is like, I can't grow my business, show them this video. Get them to see a different light of you. Get them to see the other videos about buying equipment, looking at how you're going to grow your business. If they're still charging $500 for a shoot of any form, guess what? It's about time they change and get into that $1,000 mark. It's like we're inflation has hit. It's not going anywhere. It ain't coming back down drastically. I'll tell you that. We're not going to get back down to that 2% overnight. It's going to take a while. So what are you going to do in that while? Eat up that expense? Come on. People need to eat. Everybody knows that. So we look at this thought process and we go, how do we help our friends around us? This video might be the one for them. I will be releasing a private group through the new website we're making over at Mentors Approach, so we can help individuals that need assistance with what they're doing and just give them a little bit of a direction and show them the different ways that growing a business really should be. We're going to be making a whole bunch of courses. They're almost like everything's almost done. Creating an app, super excited about it. So do hit subscribe. I will be leaving links for all the different videos below. And of course, check out these 2 videos and leave a comment. Inspiring one would be great.